Greetings to everyone. Thank you very much for joining this interview. We're developing this interview as part of Media Freedom Rapid Response Program. I'm very happy to have here Mr. Tiemo Wölken, member of the European Parliament. And we invited him for a very good reason. This week, the European Parliament adopted the first Anti-SLAPP Directive. This was on 27th of February 2024. And we invited Mr. Wölken because he was in charge within the European Parliament to deliver this big file using the language of the Parliament. So first and foremost, on behalf of European Center for Press and Media Freedom, MFR and CASE, thank you so much for the work that you've done. And could you tell us a little bit what is this directive about, why it was important, and how could it help practically?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me today. And yes, indeed, I'm very happy that we finally adopted the Anti-SLAPP Directive this week after, I think, roughly 4 years of intensive work. It all started with an own initiative report by the Parliament requesting action from the European Commission. And after our initiative report, they indeed proposed an Anti-SLAPP Directive. And I think with the outcome, we can be very happy because for the first time ever at European level, we do have now a SLAPP's definition. So practitioners all over Europe, justices, but also lawyers can now identify SLAPP cases. And if a SLAPP case is detected, the journalists who are the victim of a SLAPP proceeding do have special measures. So they can ask for an early dismissal. They can ask also for penalties in the end. And in an unjustified SLAPP case, they will also receive full reimbursement of all costs, including the costs of legal representation. And I think this is a real success, as this protects journalists in the European Union, but also NGOs and human rights defenders and others who are faced with a lawsuit which is only taken against them to silence them. And I think these layers of protection will indeed improve the legal situation of many people who are facing these abusive lawsuits, which, and I have to say it once again, which are an abuse of our legal system, which their sole aim is to silence a journalist. And this is contradictory to everything we want to see in a democracy. We need scrutiny of powerful individuals, of politicians. We need scrutiny of large companies. And if a journalist is exercising the scrutiny, they need support and they do not need to be threatened. And therefore, I'm really happy that we adopted this Anti-SLAPP Directive, which will indeed help many victims of SLAPP cases.
Thank you very much. We saw quite a lot of reactions through social media, statements, etc., mainly from civil society. And the reactions I've seen was very positive. But we want to know, especially for those who are less involved in this case, your collaboration with civil society, whether you work with them, whether there was a chance to provide input. It would be very useful to have more information on this.
So when I started working on this, I thought, okay, this is a problem, we need to address it. But I would have never imagined that there are so many SLAPP cases all over Europe happening in almost all member states, threatening democracy all over Europe. So I'm a lawyer by training, and I never came across these SLAPP lawsuits during my studies and during my practice training. So I really think that we need to step up the game, and we really need SLAPP cases to be put on the radar and also involved in judicial trainings. So for me, it was hence very important to understand how dramatically SLAPP cases are negatively affecting those who are threatened with a lawsuit or who are a victim of a SLAPP case, because it is financially burdensome, it is psychologically very challenging, and it also has a chilling effect. So for me, it was really important to understand how drastic the consequences of a SLAPP case are. So, and for that, we worked very closely together with many NGOs, and one of them being the Case Coalition, which did an amazing and honestly very important work in identifying SLAPP cases all over Europe, because as I said, there is no general definition yet, and hence we don't have data from all over Europe. So NGOs, especially the Case Coalition, have been very important, have been playing a crucial role, a very important role in identifying these cases and helping the victims, but also in showcasing them to the politicians in the European Parliament, but also to the European Commission, for example. So I think this work is one fundamental piece that in the end, this problem was taken serious. And finally, we received the directive and we adopted it now. So I really have to say it. The Case Coalition did a brilliant job, to be honest, also to put in contact journalists who are affected, human rights defenders who are affected, with politicians who otherwise would have not understood in the same way how harmful, how dangerous SLAPP cases are.
Thank you very much, especially for mentioning Case. I saw your press conference in Strasbourg, and I know you also mentioned Daphne, referring to the directive as Daphne's law. So it's very much appreciated for this collaboration with civil society. My final question would be about what is next. Now we have the Parliament, especially for those who are less familiar with EU affairs. We have now the voting. What happens next in terms of entering into force, etc.?
There is one final important step necessary. The member states have also to agree on the negotiated text, but I don't expect problems here. So they will adopt it sometime in March. I don't know the exact date for now. And after they also approve the outcome of the trialogue, which was the final negotiation between the Parliament and the European Council, we will we do have the go from both co-legislators. Then there will be a signing ceremony. So the president of the Parliament will sign the directive. And from that day on, or I think 2 days later, something, there's a very short period. Member states are obliged to transpose the directive into national law within 2 years. And I'm really happy that many member states already stated that they will not only implement the directive, but they will even go a step further and will extend the scope a bit. They will also include purely national SLAPP cases, which at the moment aren't covered by the directive due to legal reasons. But many member states already said they will use these rules we adopted also for national cases. And I think this is very important. And after that, whenever you are faced with a SLAPP case, according to the national process law or civil law, you will be able to tell to the judge in a case, listen, this is a SLAPP case, please stop it immediately. And if you don't do it, in the end, please award me of all costs of this lawsuit. And if applicable, also introduce a penalty to the one who unlawfully used the legal action against a SLAPP victim. So honestly, it will change a lot. We will, of course, have to wait a bit, and member states will implement the rules in different times, of course. Some member states will be quicker. Others, we are expecting, will take a bit longer. If member states do not transpose the laws into the national law until the 2 years deadline, the European Commission will follow up and does have legal instruments at hand to force member states to comply with European law. But for the time being, we of course expect that every member state will fulfill its duties and will implement the directive properly.
Thank you very much. First, for finding the time. I know you're very busy. And secondly, for providing all these explanations to those who will see this interview. On a personal note, I just wanted to thank you for your excellent collaboration with civil society. You and Tara and your team, I'm sure you know you have a fantastic
Yes,
team,
I know.
but it's never enough to mention this. It's for civil society, it's very, very helpful to have an open door with politicians, and this is how we felt every time we had to share some information, some concerns, to provide input. We could knock on your door, and because it was open for this, we're very thankful to you. And as MFR ECPMF case, we will continue to work on implementation to push member states so that they consider this as the minimum standards. Again, thank you so much for your time and for your work on anti-SLAPP.
Thank you so much for pushing, for watching what we are doing, and for the support. And I really do hope that the new rules will help that journalists can do their job properly and without harassment. So I'm sure that we will continue observing the situation. And if the directive isn't implemented properly, I will be here to listen, and I hope that I can also be helpful in the future. Thank you very much for the cooperation also to you.